So in his first week, we saw Trump fulfill 46 promises in roughly 24 hours. That's 2 an hour, give or take a few. And just as a comparison, the only thing Biden did twice an hour was pee. So Trump hit the ground running while Biden just hit the ground. Face first. Trump's actions include giving DHS and Border Patrol the green light to deport illegals, eliminating DEI from all government programs, ending remote work for federal employees, designating 2 and only 2 genders, i.e. protecting women's sports, and of course, releasing the assassination files. So was this hard? Not at all. It was easier than beating Stephen Hawking in a game of Twister.
What, you thought he was good?
And why? Well, I bet Trump sees them all as all solvable problems.
They're
all solvable problems.
I agree.
They're all solvable.
Not easy.
With time, effort, money, unfortunately. But they're all solvable problems. We can get our country back. But if we didn't win this race, I really believe our country would have been lost forever. I think we got there just in the nick of time.
You know, he's right. The problems are solvable if you view them as problems. This is why they weren't solvable under Democrats. They were not problems to them, but eggs they were willing to break to make their toxic omelet. The Dems did nothing about the gangs or crime or other obvious stuff because they lost the ability to admit something was wrong. Why would they miss such obvious fixes? Maybe because the problems were part of the plan? And in some cases, not solving a problem kept their so-called problem solvers in business. The race baiters, the climate hucksters, the DEI department heads. If they preserved a problem or made it worse, then you couldn't get rid of them. As long as we had racial divisions, Al Sharpton got paid. As long as John Kerry spoke of the dangers of CO2, he could fly private around the globe, spewing more noxious gases than Jerry Nadler in the Capitol men's room.
Jesus.
After a bowl of bad clams.
Okay.
And why was America first so hard to understand? Perhaps they heard, oh, America is better than everyone else, and that pissed them off. But America first doesn't put the country above others, any more than putting your family first means it's better than other families. It's just the top priority. This could be why liberals are hated by their kin. They'd rather save the smelt than visit grandma. And now both Republicans and Democrats look at what Trump is doing and they think, wow, this wasn't that hard. Why didn't this happen before? Well, because either they didn't want it or didn't have the balls to do it. Now we got a guy who does. But the ease at which these changes are accepted, it speaks to the degradation of a country previously under no leadership. Trump's effectiveness mirrors in scale and scope the absolute treasonous desertion of presidential duties by the Biden White House. In a way, Trump's got it easy. With a Biden White House so callow and inept, the problems it created, although vast and serious, were actually easy to correct as long as you're normal. For Trump, following the Biden administration is like following your dog with a pooper scooper. How ironic, the person the media deemed irrational, even nuts, is doing the things every sane person needs. But we've been gaslit so long that normal seems crazy. So in this case, the inmates should be running the asylum. And so all of Trump's actions are obvious, just free money on the table to be scooped up by the one guy who saw it sitting there. It makes you wonder, how long would this descent into madness have continued if Kamala had won? You know, right now she'd be trying to get an illegal on death row, a pair of fake tits on the taxpayer's dime. So it's like America was driving down the road with its tires completely worn down, sparks shooting out of the rims with Joe, Jim's his brother, asleep at the wheel. Democrats pretended not to notice, but Trump jumped in, grabbed the wheel, and pulled the car over just in time. So when the media describes Trump's actions on crime or the border or federal workers as a crackdown, it's not. It's a correction. And that makes the crimes of the previous administration so much worse. They had the chance to follow the law. They didn't. So it wasn't just a failure of common sense. It was a failure of will. and that inaction should never be forgotten. But they should be. And the only thing we need to remember is never to vote for them again.